Είναι το 10ο Διεθνές Φεστιβάλ Θεατρικών Μεθόδων. Είμαι πάρα πολύ χαρούμενος γι' αυτό. Είναι σχεδόν επετειακό. Έχουμε κλείσει 10 χρόνια. Ξεκινήσαμε το 2005. Είμαι πραγματικά χαρούμενος που καταφέραμε μέσα σε αυτές τις δύσκολες συνθήκες να φτάσουμε μέχρι το 10ο. Τα τελευταία χρόνια είναι δύσκολα. Είναι πολύ ευχάριστο το γεγονός ότι έχουμε για πρώτη φορά δασκάλους που ξαναέρχονται, γιατί ήθελα πάντα σε κάθε infomat να έχουμε καινούριους δασκάλους. Αλλά επειδή είναι επετειακό, δέχτηκα να καλέσω μερικούς που ήθελαν πάρα πολύ να έρθουν πάλι. Και είναι σχεδόν συγκινητικό να βλέπεις ότι είναι κάποιοι που ήταν στο πρώτο, στο τρίτο, στο πέμπτο, έχουν περάσει τόσα χρόνια και είναι πάλι εδώ. Είναι πολλά παιδιά που έχουν έρθει από το εξωτερικό για να παρακολουθήσουν το φεστιβάλ. Σήμερα είναι η τελευταία μέρα, νομίζω ότι είναι όλοι πάρα πολύ ευχαριστημένοι. Κλείνουμε και ακόμα ένα infomat έτσι κλείνει με πολύ μεγάλη επιτυχία και μου φαίνεται ότι έγινε μια πάρα πολύ καλή δουλειά σε αυτό το Φεστιβάλ Θεατρικών Μεθόδων, που είναι το μοναδικό που γίνεται στον κόσμο. Μαζεύονται όλοι αυτοί οι σημαντικοί άνθρωποι του θεάτρου από διάφορα μέρη του πλανήτη. Είχαμε την τύχη όλα αυτά τα χρόνια να έχουμε σπουδαίους σκηνοθέτες, ηθοποιούς από την Αυστραλία, Νέα Ζηλανδία, Χιλή, Βραζιλία, Αλάσκα, Ιράν, Ινδονησία, από διάφορες παράξενες χώρες, βεβαίως και από Ευρώπη, Αμερική. Και φέτος έχουμε την ευκαιρία, φιλοξενούμε ένα group από το Pace University της Νέας Υόρκης, ένα group σπουδαστών και 2 καθηγητές τους και νομίζω ότι όλα πηγαίνουν πάρα πολύ καλά.
So I'm Imola. I'm a Hungarian contemporary dancer. I finished the Budapest Contemporary Dance Academy this year. But my last half year I spent in Athens with the help of the Erasmus Student Mobility Program in the National School of Dance. So that's how I found this festival, because I was here. And in my class there were very colorful people from every kind of age, and they were mostly people from theater fields. So after warm-up, using the ground and then slowly coming to stand-up position and doing some kind of moving in the space, a different kind of movement material which I show them. After this, we go into a set material, a phrase, which I teach them. And after a few times doing it together, I let them try it in groups and do it as the best as they remember, and see what they make out of it. In my class, it's not the most important thing for me to see the people dance exactly what I teach them, because they are actors, they are from the stage, they know how to pay attention to each other, and for me this is more important. I always tell them that it's not, I don't insist on seeing aesthetic movements. The main point is that try to move in your body, try to find your movement possibilities, always discover new things while relating yourself to the others. This is the most important. And the third part of the class, which I think the people find the most interesting, is that we are making a couple work, and it's hard to explain because first we start on the floor. One part of the couple is like kind of passive, let's say observer, and the other one is moving the one who is lying on the floor, and slowly getting up from the ground with the help of your partner and getting more and more active, you find your own dance. And this dance is also you are relying on your partner why this dancing is coming to birth. And after your partner leaves you, you are alone, but the main point is to try to keep the sensation that you gained while this process. This process takes like 1 hour, so it's not fast. And then we try to improvise with this. And we form a circle so that we keep the energy inside, and there are always like 3 or 4 people trying to go deep in their movements, in their newly discovered dance, and try to form something together.
I am Sigrid, coming from Italy, and I'm the first time at the infomat, but my partner Ahmed Aukran has been here at the second infomat 8 years ago. So we decided this time to come together as we are working together as clowns in Italy. We have there our clown school, and there we propose a mask. So the proposal we make here for the infomat is research about the neutral mask. I like personally very much this kind of work with the neutral mask, and I learned it in Paris and in my studies in Vienna. So here we are doing personal research for everyone to know the impulses of his body, to get a better body expression through using the neutral mask. What we are also pointing on is to find the calmness for the actor. And this is important as an actor, and it is important as a clown. So our aim here is to give an input for the people to get used and to use masks in their own studies. I appreciate a lot this infomat because I think Evdokimus has chosen teachers from all the last 10 years, and he has chosen teachers from all different kinds of theater pedagogic or theater streamings. So what I leave here is a big mosaic, a very colorful picture of what is theater and what can be theater. It's like the richness of the theater. So I think the people who join the courses can get home with a lot of impulses on various streaming of theaters. I appreciate very much the fact that we can be teacher and then can be scholars in the other lessons, and I feel very close to all these groups, and it's a very nice, grateful atmosphere here.
My lesson is about mask. This time is my second time in infomat, and the first time I made for 8 years ago, 2006, about clowning, movement and theater in the movement, and now this time I've decided to work about mask, because mask is somehow taking your face off, and we see your body naked in the movement, in the action, and body cannot lie, we say. That's why it's very important for us to take off this face and all instruments of the face, mimes or somehow ridiculous laughing and everything away, and then we watch, we observe the body, and we try to speak by body, to communicate by body, and to show our emotions by body. And there are some ways to go to this language or body language or this communication, and this is one of the possibility, the mask, neutral mask. And this, that was the idea was created by Jacques Lecoq and worked with Sartori together, and they created a neutral mask which has no sense on the face, white, and we try just to move in this face or in this mask. That's the way how I work, and for this time. And infomat, yes, it's very nice possibility to meet with the other teachers or other persons and students, other cultures, and I like it. I like it very much because, first of all, for my English, because usually I'm speaking much more German and Italian and somehow Turkish too, but English was dead for this time, and it's very nice to wake up my English again and to break my tongue again in this language. And the second is what the important thing is really to share the new ideas, new works, and to see what's going on in America, what's going on in Romania, what's going on in Turkey, what's going on in Spain. And so we can collaborate together, or we can think about it, and I can observe my work too through the other works. And this is fascinating for me, and thank you Evdokimos that he's created this infomat, this festival, and we try to make theater together.
This is my second time at the festival, and it's been a lot of fun to see the different people that are here. We're doing improv classes, so a lot of the scenes that we're creating and a lot of the games that we're playing with them are not scripted or something that they had time to think about. So it's very interesting to see people in Greece and you know how they improvise and the things that they think about in the moment right away, and how it is similar to a class anywhere else in the world. And that's what really brings us together. As a comedian, I've been lucky to go to so many different places and be a part of so many different shows or workshops or so on. But in Greece, it's good to see that the energy is always higher, the passion is always bigger. So it's always very interesting to see how the students are. 2 years ago, it was the same passion. 2 years from our last workshop, it's still the same passion. So that's something really nice to see in the Greek actors that are, I think, budding right now. We focus on improvisation, so the whole concept is you have to come up with the situation based on what the audience just gave you, like 5 seconds ago, and you have to think about everything in the moment. The idea behind that is there's a whole industry, there's a whole type of performance that's improv and so on, but for an actor, it's really important to be able to improvise. So you can think of things that normally wouldn't come to you in the moment. For example, I do stand-up comedy, and a lot of the jokes are already written and things like that, but there's always a 30% of improvisation that I do on stage. These are jokes that I will never be able to find sitting in a room or in a cafe writing down. These are things I will be able to find with the audience, while the audience is in front of me while I'm on stage. So improv is a beautiful tool to create magic that you normally wouldn't think about, that you need a stage and an audience for. So this is something that's very important. I think we're doing short form improv, so it's very funny, everyone's always laughing, everyone's always asked to do something they normally wouldn't. They have to step out of their comfort zone, and Greek people are beautiful at that. It's just amazing what we've been seeing over the last few days.
Hi, my name is Mina Liccioni, and I'm originally from New York, but I've been living and performing and teaching in Dubai for the last 7 years. My husband and I, Ali Al-Sayed, we specialize in comedy, all things comedy and rhythm work. And we received an email from a strange man named Evdokimos. And we didn't know him at the time, but we started exchanging emails, and he said, why don't you guys come teach at Infomat? And he sent us the link to the website. We checked it out, and we were like, okay, if we're gonna go anywhere in the world to be part of a theater festival, it has to be Greece. I mean, this is like the motherland of all theater, so we graciously accepted. And we came here 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. And one thing we noticed is we teach all around the world. We've had many different types of students from different backgrounds. But one thing that really stood out about the Greek students in particular was that they didn't need to warm up. They walked into the room, I am here, I am ready, let me act. They came with a vengeance. There was something like they were so hungry to perform. They were so hungry to make theater and to make art. It's in their blood, and it was really fantastic because what we thought we were going to achieve with them, we got to go a lot further than we would if we were in the States or if we were in Dubai. So it was a really awesome surprise. And we got to do body percussion with them, and none of them had done that before. So they were all like, what is this? What is this? I don't know. But then they got it, and they really liked it. They really liked it, and I appreciated the fact that they jumped into every workshop with people from around the world, and there's no ego involved. They allowed themselves to fail. They allowed themselves to achieve. They tried new things. They took risks, and it was really great. So when we got invited again this year for the 10th anniversary, we were like, we have to go. There was no question about it. We said we definitely want to go. And we did another rhythm workshops, a little bit different than the last time. And then we've been teaching improv comedy. And the Greeks are funny. They're funny people too. They definitely, they go for it. And I think that that's one thing, time and time again. Anytime we have a Greek student, what I really appreciate is their ability to jump in, not be fearful, take direction, and just be so, there's a humbleness in their hunger for just to be better artists.
So I was here first time in 2011. I was invited by Dokimos, and I had one of the best experiences because this is a one-of-a-kind festival. It provides the student not just with the opportunity to meet with teachers from all over the world, but to interact with methods, with systems of acting from different schools, and combines all these systems and would provide a clear idea of what's out there. The lineup this year, like it was in 2011, is outstanding. A lot of wonderful teachers from all over the world came this year, and I understand that on the 10th anniversary it was, I would say, a lineup that was chosen by Evdokimos based on previous 9 years. My experience this year was actually better than 2011. I think the quality of actors attending these workshops is getting better and better, and I think it's a clear understanding of what it is and what he's trying to do. I also brought my students from New York. I brought a group of 10 students from Pace University Performing Arts. I believe that this is the kind of theater they need to do, and they need to learn, and they need to be part of. Also, I believe that since this is the first year I'm doing this with my students, Greece was one of the most important places to be, because this is where all started, and now this is where all is happening. I'm sincerely hoping that this festival will thrive, will continue to provide the great amount of work and the wonderful structure that it provided for the past 10 years. And I might say that it's been an inspiration for me, it's been an inspiration for my students, and we're looking forward to come back. I bring a very different approach, because I studied as an actor in Eastern Europe, and then I moved to America and I studied directing at the Actor Studio. That gave me a different perspective. I apply a fusion of methods from Eastern Europe, from Western Europe, and then from America. I believe that I try to speak the language that an actor from Greece or from this part of the world would understand, but also provide sort of a language that we've learned in America, which is very well structured. I provide our students from New York, and also the students here at the Theater of Changes, with a system of work that involves two levels. One is working on the body, on the instrument, and that has to do with movement, with voice, with being able to perform on stage from a physical perspective, also from an emotional perspective. We also provide this interesting approach of totally free improvisation. Improvisation helps you understand that before you speak, there is a thought process that needs to be earned. Improvisation is also a freeing, an actor's fears, and it helps you become more playful. We understand, and we all know that creativity comes out of playfulness. In order to achieve that, we have to try different things. We have to see how far we can go, how small we can go. We have to try different things, and we have to experiment with what we are and what we're not. I believe that what I did this year was very different than what I did 2 years ago. And I believe that my students this year connected to my system of work more than they did 2 years ago. But that's also because I have more experience on teaching in both countries. And I've learned a lot from last time I was here about what worked and what didn't work with the students. And I was more prepared to meet the challenge and to empower them to have an experience and to benefit from what we did. I think they all got to work. I think they all felt empowered and they all felt inspired by each other's work in the room.
My name is Annie Levy. I'm from New York City. I'm a theater director and an educator, and I work a lot with devised theater methods. So the class I brought to infomat, it was a crash course look at different ways of creating devised theater with an ensemble. We started out doing an exercise where you have a frame, and the frame allows you to look at something very specifically and ignore everything else that's happening in the room, in the world, in the space, in your day. It's also a really nice way to get centered in the space that you're going to be working in. So after that, we did something called moment work, which was developed by an American-based theater company. From there, we moved on to the viewpoints. Then we did some work with tableau, and then we ended with a crash course in composition, which I think was a big challenge for everyone, but it was interesting watching people solve the challenge. I love doing devised work because it takes the hierarchy out of theater a little bit. As I was watching it today, I realized that this sort of training makes actors into leaders. They have to follow their own impulses and not always wait for instruction or direction. And I think that can be a really useful recharging for any creative person, not waiting for permission, not waiting for instruction. So coming to infomat has been a really lovely experience. In New York, there are opportunities for directors to get together, to learn from each other, but this way of working where there are master teachers for the students to observe, but to experience, but also for other teachers to sit in on, the international quality of it, seeing where the similarities are in different techniques and different trainings and how they're just called different things in different parts of the world is really inspiring and reminds us that we're all just following an impulse and we give that impulse different names. It's also good to remember what's important to you and what part of the practice you don't do, and it's just nice to take a concentrated amount of time and just remember what it is that you're doing when you create art.